This week on the show, eBay and Etsy are both making moves of different types, and I will once again talk about making money selling media. What is up, Galaxians? Welcome to episode number 228 of the Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. My name is Ryan, and I will be your host as we cover the weekly reselling news updates. I do have a fairly small What Sold segment in the back half of the show, and in between there, we will talk once again about making money selling media. So let's just get kicked off with reselling news.
News updates.
So eBay's international shipping program rolled out several months ago, and one of the issues with it has been that international buyers have not been able to do combined item orders. Every item had to be ordered individually. eBay said initially this was for customs reasons. A lot of sellers had a hard time buying that as the old global shipping program had combined shipping available. I still have sellers that are reaching out on my old video about the problem with the international shipping program exclusions glitch, which is still clearly going on. So this program is still not quite ready for prime time in some ways. My international business, once I fixed that glitch, has actually picked up and has been really, really strong over the last 6 months. So I don't have any complaints that way, but I still have had buyers reach out asking about doing combined item orders, and that is functionality that eBay has announced that they are finally rolling out. Sellers have been waiting for eBay to restore key functionality that went missing when it transitioned from the global shipping program to eBay international shipping. For those international orders today, this is last week, eBay sent an email to many sellers. This apparently didn't go out to everyone, offering them early access to, quote, combined shipping on international sales. eBay had addressed this hole in its new international shipping program back in July when a seller had asked the question, when will eBay international shipping allow for combining different items into a single shipment? I'm losing sales on add-on stuff from my international customers since February. eBay responded at the time, combined shipping is not an option at this time, as customs declarations require that eBay declares items at single package level. They were, so they said, working to update that feature in the future. This message went out on November 30th. Early access to combined shipping on eBay international shipping orders is now available. Dear, insert your name here. We're getting ready to roll out combined shipping on orders sold through the eBay international shipping, and we're giving you early access to this feature. I did receive this message, and not 24 hours later, I had a customer from Canada who was unable to combine items on an order. So I don't know if it's not rolled out yet to everyone or not available in every country. I don't know what the holdup is, but I got this message that I was enrolled, and it didn't work for my fella up in the Great White North. By offering this option on your listings, buyer shipping costs will be determined by the weight and size of your buyer's entire order rather than by each individual item. I've talked about on this show previously, part of my listing process is I weigh each item with a kind of a representative bubble mailer on a scale as I list it. So I'm actually putting in, for all of my listings, actual weights and dimensions so that programs like this do work correctly. I do offer combined shipping discounts live on eBay, just on the regular eBay domestic orders, and it works flawlessly. So that's something, if you're not doing, that you might want to consider so that you can take really full advantage of this program. Because if you don't have the right sizes and weights in there, this is not going to work well for you at all. That way, it'll be cheaper for your customers to purchase multiple items from you. It'll be more cost effective and easier for you to send your items to the domestic eBay international shipping hub. Combined shipping is available on your eligible items immediately, they said. As I just mentioned, I did not find that to be the case, at least for one fella. We'll continue to expand the combined shipping to more categories and more sellers over the next couple of months. That may be where the problem lies if it's not available in all categories yet. Maybe books is one of those. You would think that would be a no-brainer, books and media and small stuff that customers would potentially want to combine, but I don't work for eBay, so who knows? They're going to expand it over the next couple months, and your eligible listings will automatically be included. So my impression from this is that you do not have to do anything as a seller. To learn more about eBay combined shipping for eBay international shipping, see our frequently asked questions. Sellers commenting on industry boards viewed it as a positive development, though one seller wrote, quote, "Don't light the cigars or cut that cake just yet." The seller referenced a report from earlier this month when eBay had sent a similar note to a subset of sellers, giving them early access. But according to a discussion board post, the feature had not worked. So this is good news on the face of it. The execution, maybe not quite so much just yet, but kudos to eBay for continuing to try to get this thing worked out. I had someone reach out to me last week again about the glitch, and nobody at eBay still knows how to fix or do anything about that other than the suggestion that I've made to all of you who are listening here, and that's to just go into your exclusions and add a single country manually to your exclusion list. That seems to fix it. Moving on, eBay has announced a commercial agreement and investment in a sports trading card company, COMC, strengthening their commitment to collectible enthusiasts. The deal will expand COMC's technology-based listing and management model, offering collectors extensive selection and improved listing capabilities. This is just announced. There's really not a lot of details on how it's going to integrate either eBay into COMC or vice versa, but this is, again, another big investment by eBay into the trading card niche, if you will, which they are really, really high on. eBay, a global commerce leader that connects millions of sellers and buyers around the world, and COMC, an innovator in the sports trading card space, today announced the companies have entered a commercial agreement to accelerate the growth of the trading card hobby. The deal also includes an eBay investment in COMC. This partnership reinforces eBay's deep commitment to supporting sellers and collectors across the hobby, delivering innovative experiences to help them thrive and fuel their passions. With nearly 300 employees and a 200,000 square foot distribution space, COMC's unique model offers buyers and sellers an expert partner with a deep catalog and sophisticated fulfillment capabilities. COMC has demonstrated ability to effectively manage a high volume of trading cards at multiple price points, and eBay's investment will help unlock access to new services for eBay customers, including making listing easier and more efficient. Again, no details on specifically how that's going to work, but that apparently is the overarching reason for this. I don't know if it's a merger or a partnership or what you'd want to call it. They said, as the e-commerce home for trading card enthusiasts, we're excited to work with a company that shares our commitment to innovating for collectors and sellers so they can do more of what they love, said Gene Cook, the VP of Global Collectibles at eBay. This investment will help deliver seamless, magical experiences for the hobby, making it easier for sellers to digitize their inventory and helping buyers find exactly the cards they want. COMC said they were created to reimagine the collecting experience for trading card enthusiasts by using technology and innovation to remove the greatest pain points, allowing fellow collectors to focus on what they enjoy, said Tim Getch, the CEO and co-founder of COMC. We are excited to utilize eBay's investment to accelerate our pace of innovation, improving the experience for our customers, employees, and partners. eBay's faith in COMC is a testament to our talented and passionate team. We're thrilled to partner with eBay to continue our journey of simplifying collecting, bringing joy to the hobby, and making it accessible for as many as possible. If you are a trading card seller, let me know in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you've ever heard of COMC, if you've used their services and what you think of them. This is a company that, frankly, I had not heard of previously, but this seems like, at least on the face of it, a potentially good partnership. Moving over to Etsy. This is kind of a weird one. This actually happened back in the summer as well. Etsy, this headline says, moves descriptions during busy holiday shopping. Etsy sellers were dismayed when they had trouble finding their item descriptions on Thursday on their product pages, though they reappeared for some sellers on Saturday. Some sellers thought it was a test and referred back to other incidents when Etsy had moved descriptions and then returned them to their usual spot on the page. I, for my part, did not see any issues with this. It appears that this was not shop-based, but user-based. So the buyer's view was different than potentially another buyer's view. It was not consistent across the shop to all viewers. So it's a really weird situation. Again, bad time of year for this kind of thing, but that's what was going on. Descriptions had moved, according to this article, to the left under the photo, but you then had to click a down arrow to see the item details, and then you had to click again to see more because it wasn't showing all of the information. They also noted you had to click a separate tab to see shipping and policies, which is also moved to the left. Again, I looked at my listings throughout the week, and again, before starting to record this, I'm not seeing this view. Mine looks like normal. Again, let me know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Have you noticed anything screwy with the Etsy listings? As this article says, as we wrote in July, this is on e-commerce bites, which of course I will link to in the show notes and the video description below. When sellers reported Etsy had moved the description down the page, sellers fear one of two consequences from changes such as these. Either the shopper won't purchase the item because they can't find the description, or the shopper purchases the item without having read the description and then files an item not as described claim once they receive it. Sellers said they were upset that Etsy made their product descriptions harder to find during the all-important holiday shopping season. Hate it, especially in December, wrote one seller. Really? In December? Wrote another. So yeah, this is bad timing. From the description, again, I have not seen it personally, but from what people are describing, the way this looks, it's all bad. I don't know why you would not want to make the description as visible as possible. One theory that I saw on a message board elsewhere was that Etsy has a new text on photo thing that they're really pushing, and they may be trying to force people to use that rather than traditional descriptions. I don't know why these places constantly feel the need to reinvent the wheel, but there you go. Remember back when they said they wouldn't run tests or make changes during the holiday buying season? Another seller wrote, so much for their word, it can just about be predicted with assurance that when we should be having periods of good sales, they're going to do something to mess things up then. I certainly don't think that's the intention, but running these tests during the holiday season just really doesn't make any sense. I can't imagine that eBay or Etsy or eBay or any of these sites wants to do anything that would negatively impact their own sales. Why they do these tests, why eBay has historically asked sellers to do updated item specifics and all that kind of stuff in the fourth quarter just has never made any sense to me. But there you go. That's what's going on. Again, if you've seen it, let me know in the comments below. I have not had that experience. Last bit of news, Amazon continued to report fantastic sales for their independent third-party sellers during the 11 days of what they called their holiday sales. Customers ordered over 500 million items from independent sellers on Amazon during its Black Friday and Cyber Monday holiday shopping event, which kicked off back on November 17th and continued through the 27th. Amazon said most indie sellers are small and medium-sized businesses. Like eBay, Amazon also boasted that it had sold more refurbished goods during the sale than ever. Customers purchased more Amazon Renewed items than any previous Black Friday and Cyber Monday holiday shopping event. Amazon Renewed, if you're not familiar, sells pre-owned, refurbished, and open box products. eBay's CEO said the same thing. Their marketplace saw higher sales of refurbished goods and vintage fashion over the Thanksgiving weekend. So by all accounts, it was a really, really great weekend for resellers on most of the sites out there. You can let me know in the comments again below how your holiday weekend went. To be fair, mine was not really all that spectacular. I had a terrific November. It actually ended up being my third best month ever. But last week, from essentially Saturday through Saturday, so from the Saturday after Thanksgiving through this past Saturday, really was it was just an average week. Nothing really spectacular. So hopefully yours was a little better. You can let me know if you would like. If you're listening to the podcast, you can, of course, always email me at galaxycds@gmail.com, or you can hop on over to Instagram at galaxycdsrocks and DM me over there as well. With that, we're going to talk a little bit about what sold and how you can make money in media sales. So as media sellers, we all hear this. It seems like a lot from, I don't know, maybe people that mean well, but just don't understand how media selling works or whatever. But I got I got a message over on Instagram from someone that talked about a number of different topics, and we kind of went back and forth. But one of the things that stood out to me was the statement, "You are the only one I ever reach out to for help because everyone else that I ever tried to talk to, even family, say I'm wasting my time. There's no money in media." And as I've talked about on this show ad nauseum, if you don't understand, like I'm not a tool guy. I don't know jack about tools. If I tried to sell tools, I probably would not be successful at it unless I invested the time and effort to learn that thing. And media is no different. If you don't know about books or DVDs and Blu-rays or CDs, there's a really good likelihood that you'll be unable to make money at it. There's also the notion that some sellers just frankly don't want to mess around with sub $20 items, and that's totally fair. As I talk about seemingly every week, there are millions of ways to make money in reselling. Some people like to sell bigger ticket items. Some people like to sell clothing. Some people like to sell sporting goods. Everybody has a different niche that they're in, and you can be successful at it. The idea that you can't make money in media or any other opportunity just doesn't really hold much water with me. And I'm gonna go into some numbers that hopefully help explain a little bit why that is. Now, my first thing is you can make two investments in any business, but in reselling in particular. You can make an investment of money. You can buy more higher dollar, bigger ticket goods and try to flip them for higher dollar amounts in order to make your profit. Or you can invest time. And media to me is an investment of time rather than money. And I want to give some examples of what I mean there that hopefully will help people understand just what the opportunities are. Now, again, this is not a business model that probably works for everyone. I've got over 10,000 active listings, probably 99% of which are media. I probably have 5,000 items right now unlisted that I'm working through in my inventory stack out in my garage that I will continue to work. And though that's not everybody has the capability to store and process that much stuff. So this business model may not work for you, but that does not mean that there's no potential money in media. So last week I posted this over on Instagram. I made two big buys. I picked up roughly 800 science fiction digests and old sci-fi paperbacks. And then I did a big estate buy where I did nearly 400 items, books, and old religious pamphlets and tracts and stuff like that. So last week, grand total, I bought 1,169 items for my reselling business. I spent a grand total of $220 on those 1,169 items, which worked out to an average of less than 19 cents an item. That should give you some indication of the kind of margins that I would potentially be able to make. I think the potential retail value of those just short of 1,200 items is likely to end up somewhere between $16,000 and $20,000 for an initial investment of $220. If you don't have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time, this is how you make money in media. You get big quantities of low-cost items. The average ticket price on these is probably going to be around $15. There are some that will be $40, $50, $60, and there are some that are going to be $5, $6, $10. On average, I think they're going to be between $15 and $20 all in. Will every item in that lot sell? Unlikely, probably not. But even if I only sell half of it, I'm going to turn $220 into 8 or 10 grand. And I do that week after week after week. My investment is in the time. I list, again, if you follow me on Instagram, I post every week how many new listings I did. Last week I did 150. At that pace, it'll take me several weeks to get all of this stuff listed and up. But that's what I do. I got nothing but time. That's where I choose to make my investment. Other sellers would rather not invest that kind of time. They would rather buy a handful of very expensive items and sell those, or buy maybe a handful of replenishable items and not have to worry about messing with anything at all. So there are different models that you can be successful with in reselling. But again, this goes back to the notion that people think there's no money in media when in fact the margins are astronomical. My current gross profit margin is just short of 97% profit. Now that's before expenses and shipping and all that. That's just the raw, like my gross profit on the actual sales of the items is just short of 97%. To put that in kind of a total inventory number, just to give you an idea, I think my current inventory that I currently own, not all of it's listed yet, is probably worth close to $200,000 at retail. My total cash investment in all of that is less than $4,400. If I was able to sell all of it at full retail pop, that's a 45 times my initial investment profit. How many of you would take that? Show of hands. I'm guessing most of us would probably do that. So again, people mean well. They're probably trying to help. They don't understand. They don't know what the opportunities are in media. You can feel free to share this episode with them if you think that would be helpful in clearing up the kind of money that is available to be made in media if you're able to do it right. It is like anything else. If you don't know what you're doing and you just go buy a bunch of junk books or junk CDs, you're going to get yourself into a bit of a mess. But if you take the time to learn the field, learn the trade like you would in any other venture in reselling, there is ample opportunity out there to make money. So hopefully that clears up a little bit of that. If you have any questions, if anybody has any questions, feel free to either shoot me a message, again, galaxycds@gmail.com, at galaxycdsrocks over on Instagram, or of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave it in a comment. I just think media is a terrific opportunity, number one, because of those margins, and number two, because there are so many sellers out there who have this same feeling that there's no money to be made in media, and they just completely overlook it, which is good for us that are in it, but it's opportunity lost probably for other sellers. With all that out of the way, I got just a handful of things to cover this week. Like I said, it was not super busy, but I did have a few things, most of which, I think all of which are media, oddly enough. That'll come as a big surprise to regular listeners and viewers of the show. This first item, Shipwreck by Howard Pease. This was a 1957 first edition hardcover ex-library book in pretty mediocre condition. This is probably a $30 or $35 book all day if it was in better shape. This one was a little rough, but they are difficult to find. I had this listed for $21.99 plus shipping. It sold for full price. This was part of the big 15,000 book lot that I talk about all the time, so I'm into this one for less than 5 cents. This is one I picked up at an estate sale just a couple of weeks ago. I paid $2 for this. Butterflies and Bees, The Insect Folk, Volume 2. It was written by Margaret Morley back in 1905. Really cool illustrated hardcover about butterflies and bees. Really fascinating book in fantastic condition for a book that was over 100 years old. Again, I had $2 in it. It sold for $23.99 plus media mail shipping. For sale over on Etsy. This was also from an estate sale. I picked this up for $1. The Children's Christmas Carol by Joanna Spyri from 1957. Neat old illustrated hardcover full of children's Christmas songs. This sold for $27.99 plus shipping on Etsy. Talk about these pretty much every week. Religious books. This one sold over on eBay. Father John Hardin's Catholic Prayer Book with Meditations. This is a fairly recent one, 1999, so this isn't really even an old book. It was published by a group called Eternal Life. This was part of a big religious book lot. I own these books for about $1 a piece. This sold for $28.99, plus again, media mail shipping. Old novel, Nothing is Sacred, written by Josephine Herbst. This was a first edition hardcover from 1928, published by Coward McCann. Was in really nice condition, not much cover wear, kind of a gold embossed cover. Nice book. Part of a big estate buy. I owned it for $2. Had it listed for $39.99, received an offer of $36 plus shipping, and went ahead and sold it. And the last one for this week, I told you it was going to be a short one. Another religious book, Songs of Devotion for Christian Associations. This was published by W.H. Doane in Cincinnati, Ohio, way back in 1870. It was a hardcover in fairly mediocre condition, some staining and quite a bit of wear on the cover. The pages were really well tanned, but there just weren't very many of these out there that were of this age. I had it listed for $49.99 or best offer. Got a watcher, sent out a 15% off offer, and sold it for $42.49. And that, unfortunately, is the flip of the week. It probably doesn't seem right. I go on a rant about how much money there is to be made in media, and then my flip of the week is less than $45. But I did sell 70 odd listings last week, so all in, it wasn't too hateful. It just was not. There were no big multi-$100 books this week. So anyway, that's going to put a wrap on this week's episode. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you all had a successful first week of the holiday selling season. Again, let me know down in the comments below how it's gone for you. If you got anything out of this episode, as always, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. If you're not currently a follower of the podcast or a subscriber to the YouTube channel, please consider doing that as well. And of course, share this with any of your like-minded reselling friends that you think might get some value out of it. I know I should do that at the beginning of the video, but I'm going to go on another little rant here. These videos that, like, 8 seconds into the video are asking me to like and subscribe, and they haven't done anything for me. They haven't given me any value. They haven't done nothing but like introduce themselves. That just drives me up a wall. Why would anybody do that? I mean, I get it. The YouTube gurus tell you need to do that at the beginning of the video, not at the end, because that's when everybody's there. But for crying out loud, give me something. Give me some value before you ask for me to do something for you. Does that make sense? That was way off on a tangent, but that's just where I'm at right now. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with me. And now it's time to sell. Thanks, guys. You have been listening to the Galaxy CDs Rocks and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you again next time.